Welcome to the Van Ryn Legal and Property Podcast, your trusted
Welcome
guide
to
to
the
real
deep dive.
estate and
Today
legal
we're
solutions across
cutting
borders.
through the noise on a really complex topic.
It certainly is.
Selling property in Russia if you're a foreign national from what they call an unfriendly country.
Yeah, it's a maze of decrees, these C accounts.
And some surprising exceptions too, based on our sources like presidential decrees, central bank stuff, legal experts on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
We're aiming to give you that shortcut, the key points so you can walk away informed. Okay, let's dig in. So since 2022, Russia put in place these pretty major restrictions on property sales
Right.
for people and companies from places like the EU, UK, US, Canada, Japan, Australia. Quite a list.
A very significant list. And it changed things almost overnight for people holding assets there.
So what does it actually mean now if you're trying to sell?
Well, initially, it threw up huge legal walls. Now, sales are possible technically,
Okay.
but almost always the payment has to go through a special blocked C account.
A C account. Okay, what exactly is that? Is it just a bank account?
Not really, no. It's a ruble account, yes, held at a licensed Russian bank. But the key thing is it's designed to block capital outflow.
Block outflow. So trap the money inside Russia.
Pretty much. It fundamentally changes the game for any sale.
So let's say you manage the sale, the money lands in the C account. That's not the end of it, is it? What can you actually do with those rubles?
That's the million ruble question, maybe literally. You can use them for very specific things.
Like what?
Paying Russian taxes and official fees, buying specific Russian government bonds, transferring funds to other C accounts.
Other C accounts, so passing the problem along.
Sort of, yes. Or covering bank fees, paying contract penalties. But crucially, not much else freely. And we've seen reports like from this one individual, Konstantin Yak, saying banks even refuse tax payments from his C account without extra central bank permission.
Wow, okay, so even the permitted uses aren't guaranteed.
Exactly. It highlights the practical hurdles you can face. And of course, you can't just convert those rubles to dollars or euros and wire them out.
Right, so your money's stuck in rubles, potentially losing value.
Precisely. Huge currency risk, potential devaluation. It's a major drawback.
It really does sound like the Hotel California for funds. So are there any ways around this C account trap? Or is everyone from an unfriendly country basically stuck?
Well, this is where it gets really interesting. There are exceptions. Big ones, potentially.
Okay.
If you're a foreigner from one of those countries, but you hold a permanent Russian residence, permit a VNZ, things change.
A permanent residency? How does that help?
Under Russian law, that makes you a currency resident.
Ah,
Financially, you're treated much more like a Russian citizen.
I see.
And according to a central bank clarification from August 2022, this generally exempts you from needing a C account for new deals.
New deals. Okay.
And you also likely wouldn't need approval from that government commission that handles foreign investments, which can be a real bureaucratic nightmare.
So getting permanent residency seems like a golden ticket then. Solves the problem.
On paper, yes, it looks that way, but practice can be different.
How so? Still hidden roadblocks.
Yeah, exactly. It seems to be a bit of a legal gray area that's still, shaking out. New decrees sometimes come out without all the detailed rules right away.
Leading to confusion.
Right. We've heard reports that some local registry offices, maybe because they lack clear instructions or just interpret things differently, have refused transactions even for people with residency permits.
Even when the central bank says it should be okay.
Apparently so. It gets especially complicated if money was already in a C account before you got residency. That's still murky.
What about dual nationals? Someone with, say, a U.S. and a Russian passport.
That's clearer. If you have Russian citizenship, Russia treats you only as a Russian resident for these purposes. So you bypass these restrictions entirely.
Okay, that makes sense. And people from friendly countries.
They face fewer hurdles, generally speaking, but it's still not always simple. The whole system adds layers of complexity for everyone.
Okay, so beyond the sale itself and the C account issue, what about taxes? And are there alternatives if selling just seems too hard?
Good questions. Tax rules on capital gains haven't actually changed. If you're a non-tax resident and hold the property longer than the minimum period, there's no capital gains tax.
And if you sell before that minimum period?
That it's a steep 30% tax for non-tax residents.
Ouch. Okay. Alternatives.
Well, gifting the property is an option. You could gift it to a Russian resident.
Is that taxed?
It's actually tax-free if it's to a close family member, spouse, parent, child, sibling.
Interesting. What about renting it out?
Also allowed. But again, taxes. Non-tax residents usually face a 30% flat tax on the gross rental income.
30% flat? That's high.
It is, though potentially you could operate as a Russian sole proprietor, maybe get that down to 6%, but that involves setting up a business structure.
Right. More complexity. Anything else important?
One small but maybe reassuring point from a recent decree. If the bank holding your C account goes bankrupt.
Oh, that's a worry.
Yeah, but the decree says those C account assets are now explicitly meant to be transferred to another bank. They're not supposed to be part of the bankrupt bank's general assets for liquidation.
Okay, so some protection there at least. Good to know. So let's try and wrap this up. What's the bottom line for you, the listener? Selling property in Russia, if you're from an unfriendly country, is technically possible,
Yes, but often means using that C account.
which comes with serious financial strings attached money locked up in rubles.
But getting that permanent residence permit, the going at, or already having dual Russian citizenship.
That can open up major exceptions, potentially making things much smoother.
Potentially, yes. Though the practical reality, actually getting and using the money, can still be a real challenge, even with the legal pathways.
It definitely leaves us with something to think about. As these kinds of geopolitical measures twist and turn, what's the long-term effect going to be?
Yeah. On foreign property ownership there, and maybe on the whole Russian real estate market.
Definitely something to keep watching.